Zangia Academy.
Чадвараа хөгжүүл ирээдүгөө бүтээ.
Сайн байцгаана уу? Ахисан дунд буюу upper Gemini шатны 4-р хичээл болох баймжуулгын тухай хичээл маань эхэлж байна. За ингээд хичээлд орцгоё. Okay, let us begin. So what are modal verbs? Can, could, must, might, may, will, would, shall, should, ought, need, have to. So modal verbs are different from normal verbs. They do not use an S for the third person singular. For example, he, she, it. In present simple tense, you use S in the end of the auxiliary verb, right? But for modal verbs, it does not exist. Secondly, they make questions by inversion. For example, if the affirmative sentence she can go, then the question, the interrogative sentence is can she go? It's just a simple inversion. You do not use any auxiliary verb. And third, they are followed directly by the infinitive of another verb. For example, I must go. This is the infinitive form, but without to. So those are three defining features of modal verbs. So modal verbs can express several things. First of all, this is probability. Modal verbs express probability of any kind of situation, any kind of action, any kind of thing that is going to happen. So probability can be expressed in present, past, and future. So when you're trying to express the probability in the present, you can use must, might, could, may, can't, plus infinitive. So for example, if you ask, where is Julie? You can guess about this. You can discuss the probabilities. For example, she must be on the bus. She might come soon. She could be lost. She may be in the wrong room. She can't be at home. So all of those express probabilities about the location of Julie. If you're trying to talk about it and if you're trying to talk about it using models like will, won't, should, shouldn't, or can, here is the following. So we use will and won't when we are very sure. She will be at work now. We use this in the case when we are completely sure about the action. Should and shouldn't, they are used to make an assumption about what is probably true if everything is as we expect. So we use should and shouldn't only in those cases when we expect everything to be as we planned it or as we are expecting it to be. For example, you can say, they should be there by now, or it shouldn't take long to drive here. Can, the modal verb can, is used for something that is generally possible, something we know sometimes happens. For example, prices can be high in London. So prices can be both high or low. It just depends on the situation. So this is the probability. And also, can is not used to talk about specific possibilities. He could be on the bus instead of can. In this case, we do not use can. We use just could. Okay, so when we are going to talk about the probability in the past, we use the following. For example, where was Julie last night? The question is in the past simple tense. So when we are answering it using modal verbs, we can make following assumptions. She must have forgotten about our date, or she might have worked late. She could have taken the wrong bus. She may have felt ill. She can't have stayed at home. So those are probable explanations of why Julie wasn't on the planned date, right? Also, you can use will or won't plus have plus past participle, or you can use should plus have plus past participle. So will and won't with have and past participle are used for past certainty. You are certain about it in the past. For example, the parcel will have arrived before now. So you are completely sure about it. When you're talking about this, you can use this will or won't, will not, plus have, plus past participle. And also, should plus have plus past participle can be used to make an assumption about something that has probably happened. If everything goes on as we expected it to be. So, for example, the train should have left by now. So, normally by now, the train should have left. So, it's the expectation of something that should be done if everything goes normally. Okay, also we use could plus infinitive to talk about a general possibility in the past. For example, prices could be high in the 16th century. In general, modal verb could is the past expression of modal verb can. Can is the present expression, could is the past expression. So this is not used to talk about specific possibilities in the past. Instead of that, we use could plus have plus past participle. For example, he could have been working late. So it's a past probability. They are presuming that he could have worked late last night or last day before yesterday or last week. What about ability? When you're talking about your ability to do something or someone else's ability to do something. So ability can both be expressed in present, past, and future. So can is used for ability expressed in present tense. Ability can be two types: general ability, specific ability. So what is general ability? This is something that once you have learned, you can do anytime you want. Being able to read or swim or speak a language, for example. What about specific ability? This means something that you can or can't do in one particular situation. For example, being able to lift something heavy or find somewhere you are looking for. It depends on the situation. For example, if you've done your workout properly for the last few years, then you are able to lift something heavy, right? But however, if you didn't do your workout properly and you missed a lot of them, you are not able to perform heavy hardcore lifting. So let's take a look at the examples. I can't play the piano. She can't speak English. He can't drive. He's too tired. We can't come now. Okay? So when we are talking about ability in the past, we can use could, was I to, couldn't, could plus have plus past participle. So I could read when I was 4. So when I was 4 years old, I had an ability to read. She could speak French when she was a child, but now she's forgotten it. So when that woman was a child, she had an ability to talk French, but now she doesn't have it. When the computer crashed yesterday, I was able to fix it. So it's a specific ability. She was able to pass the exam even though she hadn't studied much. We use was able to instead of she could pass. And also, I could have played the piano well, but I didn't practice enough. So you had a chance in the past if you have accomplished something else in prior to this. The second sentence is, we could have come earlier. She could have studied law, but she preferred to become a secretary. So those are unaccomplished actions and abilities in the past. There also can be ability in the future. For example, at the end of the course, you will be able to make your own website. Or he won't be able to speak Japanese in a week. It will take months. It's a negative sentence. I can help you tomorrow. I can't come to the party. So all of those express ability in the future. Okay. What about obligation? So obligation can also be in present, past, and future. For example, have to plus infinitive, or must plus infinitive, or should plus infinitive. All of those have different levels of obligation, different levels of enforcement to do something. So in present form, you say have to or don't have to, must, must not, should not. So when you're forming a positive sentence and you're talking about strong obligation, you can talk about have to. Children have to go to school. It's a strong obligation, probably imposed from the outside. Must and must not. It's a very strong obligation too. For example, I must study. It's a very strong obligation. What about should and should not? It's kind of a mild obligation or advice. You can say you should save some money. You don't have to do it you don't have to do it. It's kind of an optional, 50% optional, 50% you have to do. It's kind of a mild obligation. So you must remember that must not means it is not allowed or it's a bad idea. You must not eat so much chocolate, you will be sick. So it means that it's a bad idea to eat a lot of chocolate. And secondly, don't have to means you do not need to do something. It is fine if you want to do it, and also it is fine if you do not want to do it. For example, I don't have to get up early at the weekend. Of course, if I want to get up early, that's fine, but I can stay in the bed if I want. So all of those express certain meanings. So what about obligation in the past? It's expressed with those models such as had to, must, should have plus past participle. So let's take a look on had to or didn't have to. When you're talking about the obligation in the past, you can say, I had to wear a school uniform when I was a child. And in the negative sentence, we didn't have to go to school on Saturdays. What about must? It is used when expressing changes to had to. And what about should have plus past participle and plus shouldn't plus past participle? So a past action which didn't happen, the advice, regret about something is too late. For example, you should have gone to the bed earlier. Now I have missed the train. So all of those can be used both as well as in the affirmative or positive sentence, as in negative sentences too. Okay, the fourth one is talking hypothetically. When you're talking about something that could have happened in the past if you have done something a little bit different than it was done already. So when you're talking hypothetically, you can use could have. For example, could and couldn't have plus past participle. It means that something was possible in the past, or you had the ability to do something in the past, but you didn't do it. So this one is present perfect. Okay? So secondly, we use could have plus past participle when we want to make a guess about something that happened in the past. In this case, we don't know if what we are saying is true or not true. We're just talking about our opinion or what maybe happened. So it's about talking hypothetically. Secondly is when you are using the verb should. So should have plus past participle can mean something would have been a good idea, but you didn't do it. It's like giving advice about the past when you say it to someone else, or regretting what you did or didn't do when you're talking about yourself. And secondly, we can also use should have plus past participle to talk about something that if everything is normal and okay, we think has already happened. But we are not certain in that everything is fine. So we use should have and not the present perfect or past simple. So it's often used with by now. And we can also use would have when we are talking hypothetically. So in this case, past, it is directly the part of the third conditional clause. And also because would and will can also be used to show if you want to do something or not. We can also use would have plus past participle to talk about something you wanted to do but didn't. So this one is very similar to the third conditional, but we do not need an if clause. Okay, so that's it for today. We have talked extensively about modal verbs. We have talked about expressing probability, ability, obligation, and also we have talked about talking hypothetically. And today's homework is writing down 3 sentences on expressing probability, expressing ability, expressing obligation, and expressing hypothetical situation. And that's all for today. Thank you for being with me. Bye bye.